emotional state you're in by looking at your environment.
Exactly. So one of the things, as a kind of to expand that, is people often say to me, Kate, where should I get started? You can start at any one of the entry points, okay? I often find with people it's easier to start in our physical environment because we can see it. So when I do one of my courses, it's like, okay, start drinking water. Cool, but today we're going to do a bedside table. And then a few days later, okay, cool, now I want you to think about what you're eating and what one thing you're going to change. So you start changing, okay, but every day you're doing one thing, and then I do the emotional stuff at the end. But what happens is the moment you start clearing physically, you automatically will start clearing space in your head. So you create space. It's like you've got to defrag your computer. You've got to empty out before you can put in again. So they are all linked, but pick any place to start. If for you, you need to start with the emotional clutter, maybe it's the courageous conversation. So you just got to start somewhere, and they will all help. It's like a triangle. They will all help each other. It'll be like a positive knock-on effect. So just pick one point. It doesn't matter where you start, you will get them all. Okay? Yes?
Now, we all live with husbands and
Not
children.
all. Does everybody live with husbands?
Or partners, or somebody that doesn't want to do what you want them to do.
Right.
Okay. I don't want to sound like a nag, and I also don't want to sound like the person that's always telling, in a subtle way, how could I get people around me in the same household to start cleaning and
Okay. So are you in your household, so you've got hubby and how many kids?
2.
Okay. So can you relate to this?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody here live on their own? Okay. So maybe a different scenario for you. Okay. So for those of you that live with other beings, so are you the neatest of them all?
I would like to think so.
If you are honest. So if hubby was here and I asked him, what would he say?
No, I would be the neatest.
You would be the neatest, okay. So it is hard because it's so easy to become a nag. So that's what happens often is when whole families get involved. So one, it's about not nagging. So when people do my courses, and I'll give you an example that will illustrate it. This lady was doing my course, okay? And we were doing bedside, I think it was day 2 or 3. She emails me, she goes, Kate, my husband, he's the one that drives me mad, all this stuff. And they had, do you know what a pelmet is?
Yes.
So above their bed, and she said above this bed there are tapes and books and things and soft toys, like it's always like it, and money and things, it's so full, and it's almost like every night when we're in bed it's going to topple on us. She says, I hate it. She goes, can I do the whole pelmet? I'm like, does your husband sleep on the other side of the bed? She said, yes. So I said, well then no. So one of the rules is you cannot touch other people's clutter, okay? So it's a complicated one. So she says, what must I do? I said, you do your side of the bed. She goes, are you mad? I said, do your side of the bed. So she did her bedside table, around her side of the bed, and she did half. She measured it, half the pelmet. She carried on. 3 days later, her husband's like, and he did his half. Okay? So she just did, she goes, I'm doing this course, and this, okay. So that stuff can be real that way. I mean, that's quite an extreme. It's a lovely example, and it's a real one. But one of the things is it's about in your family, what are the conversations that are not being had that is allowing other people to not create some rules? So why are there not some rules in the house? Why is there not some common space kind of like checklists and boundaries? It's like, okay, this is common space, how are we all going to live in? This is our bedroom, this is the kids' room. So it's about having the courage to talk about, not nag, but have the proper conversation about what do we need to do in this house. And then it's about having some systems. So it's like I'm saying, if everybody in the house knows where everything lives, then everybody knows where to put it back. But if something doesn't have a home, how can you then blame people for being messy if you don't know where the kitchen scissors live? You know, so do they live next to the TV remote, or do they live on the kitchen counter? Do they live outside in the garden pot? Okay? So often you need, the whole home needs to be done with the whole family, and you have to get everybody on board and use your womanly charms to do so. Okay? And